Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt
And
Roast.
I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. We are here on day 62 of the game, and we have a lot of emotion to talk about in this video, and it is a lot of negative emotion.
Yeah, I mean, the fans are really upset about this horrible twist that's come out, this white locust that has kicked Rachel out of the game. We're really upset about it as well. And as it turns out, the people in the house are also upset about it.
This is the angriest I have ever seen players within an actual season of the show towards production since. And, we mentioned Big Brother 11 in our video yesterday
Yes.
and talking about what happened to Jesse on that season.
Yeah.
But, thinking back, that's when we saw, Shima ultimately throw her mic pack into the water. And a lot of this was the fallout of the coup de Jeff. But
Right.
I can't remember since then a time where there's been so many people either complaining about production in the house, almost talking like they don't want to be there anymore. But also, rather than that, it's just there's a lot of just discontent about this is not the show that I signed up for. And it's turned a lot of people into this sort of malaise where it's like they're not really that engaged, that interested. It's like all of this stuff with Rachel has had such an adverse effect. And it's not only just because it's Rachel who left, like there's these other things that are being thrown in here as well.
For sure. I mean, of course, it's that Rachel is gone because the person who takes out Rachel is now production, right?
Yeah.
It's not actually anybody in the game. Nobody in the game can have that on their resume or can be like, yeah, I sat next to Rachel at the end and I won. Nobody has that chance anymore. It's been taken from everybody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also like, this is a social game. You should be able to, if you can't win a competition, talk your way out of going home. That's a huge part of what this show is. And if you're not able to do that and you're just watched Rachel just lose a competition and just go home because of it, that's not Big Brother, which is why a lot of the alumni are speaking out, a lot of the fans are speaking out, lots of the YouTubers are speaking out, and now they are also speaking out that they're in the house and they're like, this is not the show I signed up for.
So before we go further into any of it, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are here every day on Big Brother 27 with live feed updates, breaking everything down with you guys. We love hearing what you have to say in the comments, and we are also gearing up now for Survivor 49, which is premiering very, very soon, like just a matter of weeks now. And then the same goes for The Amazing Race, which has Big Brother alumni, their loved ones. Super, super fun month. A lot of great stuff we don't want you guys to miss.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the support here at the channel. And also, you can join our Patreon. Over there, we're also talking about Big Brother, polls, all kinds of discussion. We're getting ready for Survivor and Amazing Race over there as well. So I'll leave a link for you below.
Thank you guys. We really, really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll start our little, roundabout here of discontent with Ava. And, I have my personal discontent with Ava that we'll get into a little bit later in this video. But we'll start with Ava basically coming up with the line of she didn't think she was signing up to do the challenge. And like I said, like there are some people who are upset about Rachel, but a lot of the discontent now is due to this idea that they have been told that this is a month of mayhem and they've already gone through this one elimination competition. We've got the blockbuster still in play. We'll talk more about that, but it's just this idea that, okay, what happened to social game? Like what happened to strategy? Like everything now is turning into, can you win a competition or can you not?
Yeah, and that's what is so special about Big Brother in general. Why I think there are so many of us that, there's lots of casuals like my dad out there who really love the show, but there's so many of us that are glued to these live feeds because the social aspect of this game, there is no show like this. There's been other shows that have tried to replicate this. There was a Canadian, The Lofters for a while, but it was nothing like this. Like this is such a special show because you can talk your way out of things. You can win nothing and win the game. And that is what is amazing about this game.
Yeah, it really, really is. And so the idea now of, oh, this isn't what I signed up for. Like, how do I deal with all that? Like, it's a difficult thing for a lot of people to swallow. And,
I agree.
I have a personal comparison I'll get into in just a second with it, but I'll start here with just talking about Ashley and Will, because they're kind of in the same boat with some of this, where, neither one of them thought that they were getting into this thinking that this was going to be what the show was. They didn't think the comps were going to be such heavily favored in it. Ashley's won a tiny a bit. Like, Will has not won a competition at all. I mean, what is salt in the wound, I think, to both of them is just this idea that we talked about how this whole chain of safety thing went that led to Rachel's elimination yesterday.
Mhm.
But it also doubled as the head of household competition. And the person who finished the fastest, which was Lauren, ended up getting power. Ashley apparently did not even get to compete in this. So she didn't even have a chance to be head of household. So it's like, even the competitions that are supposedly, this game is all about, you're not even getting to do those anymore either.
Yeah, like I know I can already hear you guys tapping away being like Big Brother isn't fair.
Yeah, of
Absolutely.
course.
100%. There's lots of stuff about Big Brother that is not fair.
Yeah.
But at the same time, everybody has a chance, right?
Yes.
Like it's not unfair in a way where it's like people don't even have a chance.
That's the part of it that's maddening. It's just like, you want to think going into this that at the very least you have the theoretical idea of it being equal. Like, there's certainly been plenty of tinfoil hat theories about how they want,
Of course.
big strong people to win, that the comps aren't equitable. Like, we've gone through all of
Right.
that, but at least everyone other than the outgoing HOH gets to compete in all of them. Usually we have a vote, all of this sort of stuff. Here is where, if I could speak a little bit to Ashley and Will in particular here, because I've talked a little bit about Beauty and the Geek in the past, which I was on. I'm not going to go too far down a rabbit hole here, but the season that I was on, they introduced this twist at the start of it of beauties versus geeks, which was basically like, okay, the original premise of the show is that a guy is supposed to be paired with a female partner who's like the total opposite of you. You learn to communicate, you learn to get better while doing competitions together. On my season, they were just like, okay, we're just going to make it a reflection of society. So you nerds are all just lumped together. The women are lumped together. We don't want you to get along with them. Like, eventually they changed it up. But basically, we were all really, really enraged by this, because it's just like, what's the point of all of it?
And so were the fans, because I really enjoyed Beauty and the Geek. I didn't know Matt at the time that he was on the show. I've watched every season of it. I really, really enjoyed it. It was lots of fun to see, people from different walks of life come together and work together socially to be able to help each other be better people. I thought it was just such a cool concept. It's one of the reasons I like Big Brother in that way too. People that you would never think would ever get to meet in like life away from the show are now together, working together, building friendships, learning from each other. I love that about this show. And I love that about Beauty and the Geek too. That last season where it was like beauties versus geeks, I almost just pulled the chute on it and was just like, I don't want to watch a bunch of like, beautiful social women just tearing down geeks who've already gone through that. But that's another show.
Yeah. And that twist got us canceled. But it's just like, I hope that nothing bad happens to Big Brother because of all this. But ultimately, in going through that, what I had to learn was, okay, this stinks. This situation is not what I wanted going into this, but you have to find some sort of way to adapt. And so I say to Ashley and Will, feel your feelings right now. They are valid, they are deserving, but you both still have a chance here. I know the blockbuster does add an element of unfairness in a way, because there's still another competition that determines things, but yet you still have a chance, even against each other, where you can fight for your own life. Like, in this particular instance, this is not the Rachel situation now. You both will be subject to some sort of vote. Like, you still have a somewhat normal Big Brother way to survive. Just try to focus on that, even if you don't want to campaign hard against each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because everybody is just coming off of this like crazy twist that was just so inherently unfair, and
Yeah.
it has changed the game, like I said, in so many different ways, because not only is it now they're realizing you have to win competitions,
Yeah.
because if you don't you can just go home like that, but now it's like you did have this veteran in the house who had won the game. Now there's no chance for anyone in the house to have actually beaten her and gotten her out. Why was she ever there then?
That's why there are these crazy theories. It's like, was Rachel the mastermind the whole time? And like, that's the real person. No, I think you guys are giving production too much credit with that idea.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people out there just kind of like hoping and praying that there's some sort of, battle back and she's going to come back. I think she's just sitting in jury house, guys.
Yeah, I think the only way that would ever change, I'm sure production is unhappy about this. I don't think it's what they wanted. Like, honestly, I really, really don't think that.
Well, then you shouldn't have done it.
Yes, you shouldn't have done it. I think that if CBS magically gave them another week of the season and they could extend it or do something like that, maybe they could consider it. There's just not enough time.
They shouldn't have done it regardless. We said this in our last
Yes.
video too. I stand on this with my full chest. Nobody who is in the house right now should have gone home at like this late in the game. People shouldn't be going home on night one either. I hate these twists that just are like pop you out of the game.
Yeah.
You have no way to actually socially fight your way through to be able to stay. I don't like it on night one, and I don't like it here. Now we're in the 60s. It's just not right.
No, it's really not right. And I think what's so interesting about feeds over the past 24 hours is seeing how everyone is kind of dealing with their stages of grief in all
Yep.
these different ways, where we have someone like Ashley who is upset, obviously, for Rachel, but also worried about her own fate in the game. You have someone like Keanu who he's talked with Rachel a lot about doing it, working together for the plot. Like, I think he's a storyteller, he's a dungeon master, right? Like, I think he loved the narrative of himself and Rachel possibly going to the end. So he's mad about that.
And so many other people loved it too.
Yes.
Like, I would have loved to have seen that. So many of us were tuning in to see the back and forth brother sister relationship that was going on with them. Are these two crazy kids gonna make it work and be friends and get to the end, or they're not gonna be friends and the friendship is over?
It was one of my favorite, just like two people storylines on this show in a really, really long time.
Yeah.
And now it's incomplete. But then we have this other angle, and this is an angle that Vince has brought to the table now, where he obviously hates that this happened to somebody like Rachel. And even if it benefits his game to some extent for Rachel to be gone, he didn't want it to happen like this. But he's also of the mindset of like, oh, this could happen again. Like, we have to be really worried that, like, okay, there's a lot more of these things happening. Like, how can I adjust my game? And I think, yeah, some people could be like, oh, this unpredictability makes for interesting television, but it really doesn't when it's just making everyone sad.
Absolutely. Like you can do things that are expect the unexpected, but they still need to be Big Brother. And for me, just having a challenge and you just get eliminated and there's no way to fight to get out of it, that's not Big Brother. That is like the challenge or reindeer games or something else where you just lose a challenge and you're gone. And there's tons of reality shows like that, but Big Brother is not that show.
It is just interesting that, we're able to see all these people in the house actively complain about this. It's just like
Yes.
I'm just surprised. Like, I really am curious what this show is gonna do, because it's like, yeah, they can't probably change anything that's happened, but it's like you do still have talent. That's what the entertainment business calls the reality stars. You still have talent who is in the house. You still have a TV show to produce. These people are all kind of miserable now. Like, there is some game talk that's happening, but it's like, if you're production at this point, how do you get people like Ashley or Will like back really engaged in things again? Okay, now we get into the other part of all of this discontent, because there's all the anger over the twist.
Yes.
But then there's all this anger over the idea that the blockbuster is still around and actively a part of the game. Because where things stand entering the veto ceremony here is that, okay, Morgan won the BB Comics veto. She's going to remove herself from the block. There doesn't seem like there's any sort of crazy, is she actually going to use it scenario again. It's like, it's pretty set here.
I'm over the blockbuster. I've said that I don't really
Yeah.
like the blockbuster. I understand why it's kind of there to give, because we have had so many big alliances just rolling over the underdog season after season after season. That has happened a lot of times. The blockbuster in place kind of gives them more of a chance to stop that from happening. And that's fine or whatever. But there is no big alliance this season. Even the judges have only been around like 2 weeks, and we've already lost Rachel. And so it's already falling apart. And we have had the other side outside winning who are not part of the judges. The blockbuster, for me, really doesn't need to be in play anymore. Like, they are going back and forth.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be in play anymore because it's led to this situation now where we're in the jury phase of the game. Like, there's not that many players left. Like, Ashley is really down because it's this idea of, okay, it seems like Lauren is going to put up Keanu. And now it's like my chances in this game are now fully dependent on Keanu losing a blockbuster when he's been one of the most dominant performers this entire season. He's
Yep.
easily a much bigger physical threat than her. Like, he has won some mental competitions, and like she also knows that Will, and we haven't seen the veto, we'll see it on the show, but Will apparently hurt himself a little bit during this BB Comics veto, so he's not even in altogether great shape. So you have Keanu versus, well, potentially Keanu. I mean, the veto ceremony hasn't happened yet, but Keanu versus injured Will and depressed Ashley. Like, how is this going to go?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to go that well. And if it's Will versus Ashley, it feels like Ashley's going to go. And I understand why she's feeling really down about it.
Okay, I'm about to do something that commenters don't hate me on this, but I'm going to try to put myself in the position of production for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be like, okay, well, let's say the blockbuster wasn't in play at this point. It's like, would Keanu even be going up on the block in this situation? Like, would there even be this chance? Because you could argue that, okay, Lauren would have put up, let's say, Ashley and Morgan for eviction, and then Morgan still wins the veto, and then theoretically, Morgan then just puts up Will, and then it's just Ashley versus Will. There's still sadness there. Or would Lauren then be like, I'm going to nominate Keanu because this is a huge move for my resume. I know
Mm-hmm.
the moment he goes up on that block, he's leaving the game. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the move now.
Yeah.
I think both of those scenarios are possible. Like, I feel a lot for Ashley and Will in this particular instance. I don't think a lot of us thought the blockbuster was still going to be going at this point.
No, I really thought it was going to be done by now. I'm really kind of over it. I've said it so many times. I really enjoy the social aspect of this game, and for me, the blockbuster takes some of that out. That scramble, that fighting to be able to stay, that convincing people that you're the right choice to stay. Especially this season when there isn't a huge alliance that's dominating this house, and there hasn't been.
Here is the tiny bit of silver lining here for Ashley. Like, here is a modicum of hope. Like, let's say that the blockbuster is something she just so happens to be really, really good at. It's a puzzle that Keanu can't figure out, something related to being a lawyer. Like, I don't know. Like, let's say she gets something that benefits her and she's safe, or even just something that Keanu loses. I think if Keanu is on the block after the blockbuster, even if there is this desire to split up Ashley and Will, I think he's going because I think, Morgan's going to vote to get rid of him
Mm-hmm.
because, she knows that he wanted her out. Like, whoever survives between Ashley and Will, like, they're going to get rid of him. And I think Ava's going to get rid of him. And it's just like, really, there's not that more you really need at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll get into some of the game talk that's going on here today because nothing that is happening right now with Keanu supposedly going on a block is a surprise to Keanu.
No, he shouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's not really working with Lauren, and he's gone up so many times. I feel like he's just like, yeah, it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, he talked with Lauren, and Lauren, who is much more decisive today than she's been the past few times, so she had to make
Hmm.
some sort of decision. Like, she couldn't say, verbatim, Keanu, you're going on the block, but she spelled it out to him this afternoon by basically suggesting that this is going to happen after Morgan uses the veto. Like, he tried his best to defend himself. He basically argues, okay, I kept you safe. And we know there were a lot of people who were trying to get Lauren on the block during his HOH, and
Yes.
he did really keep her safe. Like, there's no denying any of that.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got a good, truthful argument here.
Yeah, and he's got another one as well. What has Vince really done for you? Why are you
That's
working
right.
so hard to prioritize this guy? I mean, the problem is, and Keanu, as delusional as he may be, he is really good at clocking people sometimes when it comes to
Yes.
things that they're wrong about. And he's totally in the right here. It's just the problem. And I don't even know if it's a problem. I think Keanu knows it, kind of like you were suggesting, is just that you are such a bigger target right now than Vince. I mean, you're somebody where if Keanu makes it to the end of this game, like he's gonna get a lot of votes, like he's gonna have an interesting story, like and Rachel being on the jury, unless he's there with somebody like Ashley who she just loves and is gonna vote for,
Hmm.
like Rachel could be an advocate for Keanu at
Yeah.
this point.
No, I think she really could be.
And I think Lauren is thinking a little bit about this. And so it's just the situation where, no hard feelings to Keanu. I think Lauren understands that he has done some things for her in the game, but it's just like Vince has made a lot of people mad in the game, and Vince may continue to make some people mad in the game.
Yeah, having somebody who continues to make people mad and stir the pot in the game, it's always good. And now that Rachel's gone and she was such a big shield for so many people because she's such a huge threat and a huge target, I mean, who's next then? It's Keanu, it's Vince.
He being Keanu, he's already, he's in his feelings about this. He's going through his own stages of grief, and he's told Kelly at this point that it's like, okay, if Lauren puts me on the block, I will never vote for her in the end. And he's huffing and puffing about it.
We'll see how you feel later on down the road. I mean, yeah, you're gonna feel bad about it now, but you still have the blockbuster and you've won a bunch. You'll be just fine.
He's already trying to gas up Kelly here, and I feel like it's in case he's on the block. He kind of wants her vote. He's sort of
Of
saying
course.
he's saying things to her that I just believe cannot be true, including that, Kelly, you're one of my favorite people to talk to in the game. Like I really like
God.
talking to Rachel, but Rachel's not here anymore, so it's just like it's you, Kelly. And has anyone actually said this and meant it about Kelly and her social game this season?
Oh my god, it's not great.
It's not great. I'm so tired of watching Kelly on the live
I'm
feed.
over
I
it.
can't even begin to explain to it. But like Keanu's doing the most. He's already said all of this. He has tried to go and again make the argument to Vince that it's just like Vince, it makes more sense for you to go on the block this week than it does me because you will stay. My dude, you can't go to people and be like, you should go on the block instead of me.
Yeah, it's not even his choice. Like
Yeah.
he could say, "Sure, yeah, you're right, man," but unless Lauren decides to do this, it doesn't matter what Vince thinks. Like you're talking to the wrong people.
Yeah, and Morgan, of course, then hears about this that, oh, you wanted Vince to go on the block. And then Morgan's mad about that. And
Of
Morgan's
course.
still mad at Vince, of course, because Vince, decided during the chain of safety to save Lauren before her. And you mentioned yesterday how she did not let go of Keanu calling her a snake.
Snake.
She's never letting go of this, Vince. I'm
No.
sorry. She is going to be mad about this for the remainder of the season.
Absolutely she will be.
And at the same time, though, I think she's gonna try to keep up a good face, but I think we know where Morgan's head is at now. Where
Yeah.
Morgan, she is closer to the remaining members of the judges than Vince. The judges had their meeting this afternoon. They kind of know where Lauren's head is, and they're kind of reinforcing to each other, okay, let's just stay together as long as we possibly can. And like I think they all mean it this week just because they all know getting Keanu out of the game is good, but do they mean it beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, if they were smart, they would continue working together because if they can keep them all, I mean, that's still four numbers and that's quite a lot.
Yeah. So what's interesting to me though is let's just say this hypothetical situation where Keanu wins the blockbuster and then it ends up being Ashley and Will. Morgan has already talked to Ashley and she's basically like, I would rather get rid of Will, and we'll see if the numbers are there or not for that. But she wants to do this because then Lauren doesn't get credit for taking Ashley out of the game and she doesn't get to claim that move on her resume.
Yeah,
I aspire to be the level of petty that Morgan is
I
being towards
know.
Lauren with all of this. It's like, is there really that big of a dip? I know Ashley has won a little bit more. She might be seen as a
Yeah.
bigger player, but I still think that Will has a very good social game.
He does, but at this point, I mean, everyone has really won something except him. So I don't know in this particular era of Big Brother where wins seem to matter on the resume. It's been quite a while since we've had, the old days of you can just go to the end with winning nothing and win the game.
Yeah.
That can that still be seen as anything? If he gets to the end and he's won nothing, what does he have on his resume to convince people I'm a nice guy, I have good social game, we're friends? What are the moves you made socially that makes you the winner of the game? And I don't know that Will has that.
He doesn't, unfortunately. Like, I think he would need to really be able to claim, like, I'm responsible for this person leaving, and that person leaving. And
Yes.
he does not have that right now. And you need an overwhelming strategic resume to kind of make up for the lack of competition winning.
Yeah.
We're going to finish off this video, though, with a round of pettiness because there is a lot of petty going on in the house right now. Vince is being very petty towards Kelly at this point because I think he realizes deep down that Kelly does not like him anymore, does not want to be around him anymore.
It
So
only took him this many
yeah,
weeks.
so Vince has now adopted this philosophy of, Morgan, I'm going to make sure that I do not let Kelly win. I refuse to vote for her. I do not think she knows anything about the game. She's played terribly, and
She
Vince
has.
Vince isn't wrong. Like, I will give him credit for a lot of this sort of stuff. It's just so funny that Vince has made a lot of the collective internet either mad or uncomfortable over the past couple of weeks. And in the last 24 hours, people are so happy that one, he's upset about what happened to Rachel, and two, now he's hating on Kelly. And there's some Team Vince's, the numbers are starting to rise again.
Let's go. I've always been here on Vince Island.
You
I
have.
mean, yeah, I think he's a really good player. And I've always said, is he just a good player because he's a good player? Is he a good player because he's playing on a season of bad players? But I think he's a really good player, whether you like the way he plays or not.
Okay, so lastly here, we're going to talk a little bit about Ava because earlier this season, we had a discussion about how Mickey was someone who we had high hopes for and we really enjoyed watching her. And then she did this 180 and then they're just like totally, totally out on her.
Yeah.
Ava has now fallen into this position as well, where like she was one of my two preseason favorites.
Yeah.
It was Ava and Keanu. I was so excited. I like painting. It's a fun little hobby I do. She's an aura painter. Like, I was so excited about her. But it's just like, sure, the way that she's been talking over the past several days has bothered me, but especially since Rachel left, she has just been talking smack about Rachel nonstop in a way that's really distasteful. Like, a part of it is during the whole chain of safety, like, she had the option to, choose somebody early. Rachel wanted to do it. Rachel grabbed her arm. She didn't like that, so she chose Vince instead. And I'm just like, I understand not wanting to be touched. Like, I get that part of it.
I get it too. I'm a person that doesn't like to be touched, but I'm not going to hold it against you if you don't know that I don't like to be touched and you
Yeah.
touch my arm. It's not offensive.
No, it's like, why are you making game move based on why are you helping Vince, who you have been targeting for? But it's just like that part of it with Ava is infuriating, her rationale, but more so than that, it's just like the way that she has constantly brought up Rachel now and is just talking about her in a really, really negative way. Like, I'm okay with people venting their frustrations because that's life. You don't like
Sure.
something that somebody did, you're going to talk about it with your friends, but it's like there's a level where if you're constantly bringing it up where it just gets like, okay, well, what's your issue? And it might be that Ava has brought up now that she felt like she was playing this game that was going to get her America's favorite player, that was going to be awarded to her. And now that everything has happened with Rachel and that people are going to blame her for it, that she's just not going to get it anymore.
I hate to say this, but I'm not too surprised to actually hear her or other players talking about AFB and that's what they want. I mean, that is something that I'm sure going into this that you're like, okay, if I can't win the game, I can at least win this because it is something else that's out there as a choice. And I do feel that for most of the season, there was probably a good chance she was going to win this.
Yeah, like she was in contention at one point. Keanu was in contention at one point, but I don't think we have to beat around the bush anymore. Rachel's winning this. The way that Rachel went out of the game, every super fan out there is going to vote for Rachel to win AFP.
1,000%.
Like that is just happening. You guys have to deal with that. But okay, that is where we are coming out of this edition of Big Brother 27 live feed spoilers. So do you guys think that production is going to be able to get some of these players back on board, or are we just on this train of negativity now? Do you think Lauren nominating Keanu potentially is the right move? Let us know. hit that subscribe button and be sure to also support us further by joining our Patreon. We have a link in the description for that. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
support. We really, really do appreciate it, and we will see you here next time.